Hey, what's going on? It's your oh so glorious and beloved Macevalor here today to talk about surviving and thriving in the gig economy 2020. Moving forward, it's been a crazy year. What are we going to do to prepare ourselves in the future? Well, there's a way you can not only prepare for the future, but also ensure that you're protecting yourself every single month that you're out there on the gig economy, doing the grind, doing the hustle, making your money, being self-sufficient, self-employed, and of course, owning your own success. As of course, I'm your so glorious and beloved Macevalor. Let's go on a journey together and figure out, hey, how can we protect ourselves moving on? The following video is sponsored by Kover. Link down below for your first month free. Nothing to lose and everything to gain in the best gig economy business decision you will make in 2020. With paid time off, sick leave, 24/7 customer health service, legal protection, and automatic mileage tracking, packages start at just $7 a month. Kover is the financial safety net you need to take your gig economy hustle to the next level. Everything I talk about on this channel is about protecting yourself. It's about securing your future, both financially and your health as well. But something that people tend to forget about is their business. The gig economy is booming, especially right now at a very critical time in history. And now is the time where we're seeing things aren't just adding up properly. You see, there's a massive gap of benefits that you lose when you go from traditional employment to the gig economy. We're told and kind of suckered in to the whole gig economy fantasy paradise because of the notion that we can be our own boss. But when you are your own boss, there's responsibilities. And you got to take care of everything because you're the one in charge. Today I want to talk about Kover. Because Kover really does bridge the gap of benefits that are lost between full-time employment and the dream of creating something that's your own, owning your own success with the gig economy. Now, yeah, so from time to time, people will just only absorb the dollar flow. They will only take in the money, and that's kind of the problem. We need to realize that this is our new normal. This is our new life, and if we're really going to be hardcore about it, if we're going to be on multiple platforms, if we're really going to try to be as successful as we possibly can be doing these types of jobs, we need to set ourselves up and play it very serious. You see, making money in the gig economy can be extremely lucrative. However, the one caveat is that you are then indeed responsible for your own taxes. And taxes are, whew, boy, they can be a beast, but I'm telling you, you can save a ton of money while protecting yourself, so long as you file the appropriate deductions. Just because do Uber, do Lyft, it's extra quick money, that's not the reality. The reality is it's a business. It's a business where you yourself are putting in the equity of your time, the value of your labor into something to get, some sort of financial gain from it. Whether you're just starting out in the gig economy because of this whole new crazy insanity, or if you've been a part of the gig economy for quite some time, Kover is something that you really can't say no to. So how do we stack that on top of itself? How do we utilize the platforms that we're on and devise them in such a way that we can own our own success and be successful and, of course, financially independent? All I'm trying to say is that you can protect yourself, get the benefits that you were missing out on in the past, and you could still be your own boss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me for a moment. Just follow me. Let me break it down like this. As independent contractors, we're kind of left to our own devices, trying to figure out anything. When there's an accident on the highway, or if you get the flu, or if something completely and totally out of your control happens, that can affect your business, that can affect your bottom line, that will affect the cash flow coming in. How do we protect ourselves? See, there's a lot of gig economy platforms out there, some of which just kind of let anyone and everyone in, and others have a little bit more stringent requirements. One of which, of course, might be general contractors insurance. But that only protects the client. What about you? If something were to happen, how are you protected? wrongful termination with no notice, and you're SOL, because there's not a human being that you can talk to. There's not someone that you can kind of facilitate why this is. Or if, you're on schedule, but you can't make it because something else happened in your life, and then you just get booted out. Or you miss those days working. How do you recap what was lost? They facilitate a risk-sharing program so that everyone is throwing in together and everyone can benefit just as much as one another. Now, yeah, trust me, of course, I was skeptical at first, but it's actually kind of mind-blowing, to be perfectly honest with you. You gotta make sure that if you're gonna be a part of these platforms, you gotta know that they're not looking out for you. You gotta look out for yourself. And yeah, it's like they've preached to us when they got us to sign up. You are your own boss. You are the one that's in control. So you have to know that, be mindful of it, and implement your business in such a way to where you can stay afloat. When I was first hit with the current situation that we got going on, it was rough. All the work that we had just completely swelled up, and I was living on nothing but savings for quite a while. Things would have been a lot more manageable had I known that there was even a service like Kover. It's something that really facilitates that gap that we can see so many people when all this first went down, people that were gig workers that were struggling more so than anyone else in the world. Well, everyone else that worked the normal 9-to-5 that got laid off or was told that they're not allowed to work because they weren't deemed essential, they were able to get the benefits from unemployment as if, it was just a typical whatever. And on top of that, they also got additional money, the $600 a week. That's insane. That's an awesome deal. Why couldn't we be a part of something like that? Well, they did obviously the government stepped in, part of the CARES Act, and, made sure that gig workers could get paid. But unfortunately, like I said, in a lot of states, people haven't been paid out. You see, I thought it was crazy that something like this didn't really already exist. I mean, I live in Nevada, and we are dealing with a ton of issues when it comes to, the PUA fund. Dieter out there in Nevada is just bonkers. People aren't getting the unemployment that's rightfully due to them. And this is putting a lot of people on really hard times, harder than they could ever imagine for something that was completely out of their control. They're waiting to hear back for months and months and months, and nothing. But if they had Kover, they would have been set. They would have been getting 80% of what was owed to, of what they would normally make in this time. That's money that you can't really be missing out on, especially now. So when things do finally get better now, are we just gonna continue on like we did before, hoping that, there'd be some sort of legislation with the gig economy that will help benefit people in times like this? The government does not advance with technology like the rest of society. This is just an unfortunate reality that we have to face. But we can do what we have to do on our own end to make sure that we are protected. Hey, you get on Kover at the end of the year, put that bad boy in your deductions. So stuff like this, you need to think preemptively. You need to think about your business as a whole. How do I protect myself in this business so that I can be successful? How do I manage my finances in such a way to where my money is working for me, as opposed to just being yet another sinkhole that I invest so much money, time, energy, amounting to what? And that's the thing with Kover. At the end of the year, you just write it off, there you go. And that money comes back to you because, hey, we as gig workers, we as independent contractors, we're responsible for our taxes, we're responsible for our supplies, we're responsible for coordinating our schedules. We are our own bosses. And we need to take a really hard look at what we're doing in the gig economy. All right, let me level with you, okay? There are so many times that I've had to call some sort of platform customer service or something, and I can never get a hold of a person. I got bit by a dog on a job, and their only response when I finally could get a hold of someone was to, oh, you just need to leave that job immediately. The next thing you know, I have to go to the hospital, get this dog bite looked at, you know, and then they have their own like little ways to figure it out, but it happened on the job. So technically workers' comp is supposed to take up on that. We don't have any workers' comp in the gig economy. You know, unless you have some sort of specialized insurance that costs a fortune, you're kind of SOL. And as I was in that situation, there was nothing that I can do. Tried reaching back out to the platform and they were no help whatsoever. And I couldn't afford to take any time off of work, so I was right back in the saddle. Yeah, fortunately I didn't have to go work with that customer again, but unfortunately, you know, it hurts the pocketbook, which essentially hurts me and my future business. With something like Kover, in situations like this, you're not going to be left wondering, well, what do I do next? You're going to be taken care of financially. You're not going to be SOL, as I've been saying numerous times already. Now, of course, you know, there are different caps and whatnot, and you can hit the link down below, go to the website and check it out. But like I said, when you write it off on your taxes, at the end of the year, you're essentially not paying for anything. It's nothing but a benefit for you to include this in your business. I sincerely hope that you guys take a moment out of your day, click the link down below, go to Kover, check out what they got, pick up a package for you guys, referral link down below, and just start off and see how you like it, see if it's a good fit. You will be pleasantly surprised at how it really does bridge the gap. It widens up our scope because that we know that we're taken care of. And that's all we want at the end of the day. You know, we want to be able to create our own schedules. We want to be able to do all that gig economy stuff. But we're missing something. And Kover's got you covered. As always, I'm your oh so glorious and beloved Macevalor, signing off.